In a bombshell ruling that has left federal prosecutors stunned, a judge just dealt the biggest blow to gun-free school zones in decades. The Department of Justice never saw this coming, and the implications could affect every school in America. Stay tuned because what I'm about to reveal will completely change how we think about school safety and gun rights. Before we dive into this shocking legal development, take a moment to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to stay informed about crucial updates affecting your rights and legal developments. If you find this information valuable, please give this video a thumbs up to help others discover this important news. The Department of Justice has just experienced a stunning defeat in what many legal experts are calling a watershed moment for gun rights and school safety regulations. The case, which challenged the constitutionality of certain aspects of the Gun-Free School Zones Act, has resulted in an unexpected ruling that has left federal prosecutors reeling and could potentially reshape how similar laws are enforced nationwide. The case began when federal prosecutors brought charges against an individual under the Gun-Free School Zones Act, but the outcome has evolved into something much more significant than a simple violation of federal law. The ruling has called into question long-standing assumptions about the federal government's authority to regulate firearms in and around educational institutions, particularly concerning the intersection of state and federal jurisdiction. At the heart of this case lies a complex web of constitutional issues, including states' rights, the Second Amendment, and the Commerce Clause. The federal court's decision has highlighted significant questions about the extent of federal authority in regulating firearm possession near schools, particularly in cases where state and local laws might differ from federal regulations. The ruling particularly focused on the government's reliance on the Commerce Clause as justification for federal regulation of firearms near schools. The court's analysis suggested that the connection between local firearm possession and interstate commerce might be more tenuous than previously accepted in similar cases. This interpretation could have far-reaching implications for other federal gun regulations that rely on similar constitutional grounds. Legal experts are particularly surprised by the court's detailed analysis of previous Supreme Court precedents regarding federal authority over local activities. The ruling suggests a potential shift in how courts might interpret the scope of federal power in regulating firearms, especially in areas traditionally under state and local control, such as education and public safety. The Department of Justice's reaction to this defeat has been one of evident shock and concern. Sources within the DOJ indicate that the prosecution team had been confident in their position given the historical success in defending similar regulations. The unexpected ruling has prompted immediate discussions about potential appeals and alternative legal strategies. One of the most significant aspects of this ruling is its potential impact on existing gun-free school zone regulations across the country. While the immediate effect of the decision is limited to the jurisdiction where it was issued, the legal reasoning could influence similar cases in other federal courts, potentially leading to a broader re-examination of these laws nationwide. The court's decision paid particular attention to recent Supreme Court decisions regarding Second Amendment rights, incorporating these newer interpretations into its analysis of the Gun-Free School Zones Act. This approach suggests a growing trend in federal courts to more carefully scrutinize gun regulations in light of expanded Second Amendment protections. School safety advocates have expressed concern about the potential implications of this ruling. Many worry that weakening federal authority over firearms near schools could create confusion and potentially compromise student safety. However, supporters of the decision argue that state and local authorities are better positioned to craft and enforce school safety measures that reflect community needs and values. Law enforcement agencies are now grappling with how this ruling might affect their daily operations and enforcement procedures. The decision could require significant adjustments to how officers handle firearms violations near schools, particularly in cases where federal and state regulations might conflict. State legislators and officials are closely examining the ruling to understand its implications for state-level school safety regulations. Many states are already considering legislation to address potential gaps that might emerge if federal enforcement authority is limited. This could lead to a patchwork of varying state regulations replacing the uniform federal standard. Constitutional scholars are particularly interested in how this ruling might influence other challenges to federal gun regulations. The court's analysis of federal authority under the Commerce Clause could provide a blueprint for challenging other federal firearm regulations that rely on similar constitutional justifications. The ruling has also sparked renewed debate about the effectiveness of gun-free school zones in preventing school violence. Critics of these regulations argue that they primarily affect law-abiding citizens while doing little to deter those intent on causing harm. Supporters maintain that such zones are an important tool in maintaining school safety and should be preserved through alternative legal frameworks if necessary. Education administrators and school boards are now facing uncertainty about how to maintain effective school safety policies in light of this ruling. Many are consulting with legal experts to understand how their existing policies might need to be modified to comply with the new legal landscape while still maintaining effective security measures. Gun rights organizations have celebrated the ruling as a victory for Second Amendment rights and constitutional limits on federal power. These groups argue that the decision properly recognizes the limits of federal authority and preserves state and local control over public safety matters. The case has also highlighted the complex relationship between federal and state authority in regulating firearms. The ruling suggests that courts may be more inclined to favor state authority in areas where federal and state regulations overlap, particularly in matters traditionally under local control. Legal scholars are examining how this ruling might affect other federal regulations that rely on similar constitutional grounds. The decision could have implications beyond gun regulations, potentially affecting other federal laws that regulate local activities under the Commerce Clause. The timing of this ruling is particularly significant given ongoing national debates about school safety and gun rights. It comes amid increased public attention to both issues, potentially influencing how policymakers approach these challenges in the future. Civil rights organizations are analyzing the ruling's implications for equal protection and civil rights enforcement. Some worry that a patchwork of state regulations could lead to inconsistent enforcement and potentially discriminatory practices in different jurisdictions. The case has also raised questions about the future of federal involvement in school safety initiatives. While the ruling specifically addresses gun regulations, it could influence how federal agencies approach other aspects of school safety and security programming. Looking ahead, legal experts anticipate that this ruling could lead to a Supreme Court review of gun-free school zone regulations. The split between different federal circuits on similar issues often prompts the Supreme Court to step in and provide clarity.
The DOJ's options for responding to this defeat are now being carefully considered. While an appeal is likely, the department must weigh the risks of a potentially broader ruling that could further restrict federal authority in this area. If you found this analysis of this landmark legal decision informative, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell to stay updated on important developments in gun rights and school safety laws. Share this video with anyone interested in these crucial issues. Join the discussion in the comments below. We value your thoughts on this significant ruling. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in our next video with more important legal updates.